just to go back a little bit, I think we met the first time when you came into the party. You were doing communications. I wasn't very much in contact with the party, so I don't think we dealt too much with each other. But then we started working closer together when you took the lead at the writing office of our very own Right Honorable Prime Minister.
That's right. We're lucky enough to work our two writings, the federal and the provincial one, were crossing. So that's how we really actually met. Because I remember working for the provincial Liberals, but when you're working at the headquarters, you don't get to see what's really happening on the ground.
On the ground, yeah.
But now that I was working in the Prime Minister's writing office, that was the moment when we started working together. And I got to say, you guys were really close to the people on the ground. So wherever I would go and meet with the citizens, they would always talk to me about, this is what Jerry is doing, this is what his team is doing. So that's how I really got to know what you guys were doing.
Look, we were there for a very long time, right? So we had the opportunity to build some steady relationships there on the ground. But tell me about you. I mean, how did you that transition from the partisan to more of the service and the representation for the citizens?
I think it was a very important moment in my life. When you do politics, everyone has in mind working in either Quebec City or Ottawa, and if you're really lucky, Washington.
Yeah.
And you think you're going to be in that bubble and you're going to change the world at that precise location. Truth is, you're the most helpful when you're in the writing, when you get to see people.
I agree.
Real challenges every day. And if I hadn't been on the ground at that point, I don't think I would have been that good or as humble as I can get working in politics in Ottawa.
It does change you. It changes you because, like you said, you're on the ground. And it's fine working on the hill, but working on the hill is much more, what this show is about, right? The backstage, all the preparation, everything that goes into policy and all that stuff. But the writing office is, first of all, that's what maintains your seat, right? So the work that is done there is also the work that will depend on whether or not you maintain the seat, because it's the relationships and it's what you have to prove, right? What you have to show. He wasn't yet prime minister, I think.
No, he had just run to be the leader. So once I got there, he was already a leader, but it was just before the election, the 2015 election.
And you left, I think, right before.
A little bit before, because I ran for a nomination in the riding, which I didn't win.
Right.
So
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a nice experience as well. In my hometown in Stansted.
In the Eastern Townships.
Eastern Townships, in Compton, Stansted is the names of the riding.
So you're a townships boy.
I am.
You grew up on the farm.
I grew up on a farm. Worked 8 years on a farm before actually jumping in politics.
What kind of farm?
So it's a family farm. So there are 12 kids. I was their cousin. I was the 13th one.
Wait, you have 12 siblings?
My cousins.
Oh, cousins. Okay, I missed that. Okay,
the same family. They have they're 12 kids. I was the 13th one. So they have to do everything, right? You have a farm. You have to be able to work in any conditions. Both the fields, they have about 1,000 cows now.
Oh wow!
It's a big farm.
Okay.
So I've touched everything. In the joke when I got into politics, as in you used to spread shit when you were working on the farm, but
I've dealt with shit before.
You're doing the same thing now once you're in politics.
I love talking with people that either work in politics or worked in politics, and much more talking to people that worked in politics, so I can see now in retrospect how they think. What was it for you that pushed you or motivated you or got you interested to come into politics?
To be quite frank, when I was younger, I was a disenfranchised youth. I used to listen to a lot of punk rock music. I used to have a big mohawk, different colors back in the days.
Wow.
I knew
we want pictures. That's what we want.
You won't get any of them. I used to think there are so many different things you can do to make this world better. Yeah. And I know it's a bit cliche, but truth is, you go into politics for that, then you learn how complicated it is to change things. Yeah. But you have the foundation of why you get involved should always be because you want to change things for the better.
Mm-hmm. You got involved at a university level from
Absolutely. My first experience was in 2008, working on a campaign for William Hogg, who was a local candidate back then in Compton Stansted. That's how I started, just volunteering and slowly getting to know more people working in politics and getting closer to them. understanding their world first, because you don't want to jump from one day to the next into politics. You want to learn to see if you like it, because as you said, it's a drug. So you better make sure that
Pick the right one.
That's right. The one that really suits you.
Get addicted to the right one.
That's right.
And that led you obviously to all the positions. Finally, you ended up working in cabinet in Ottawa.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
I worked for Minister Morneau, the Minister of Finance, for 3 years. Incredible experience. Yeah, really. I don't know. There's so many things I could say. So is there something specific you want to talk about?
Look, this is where, and it's interesting that you. I'm happy that you accepted to come on, because many people that are involved in politics, they're either involved at a partisan level, either at a local, service representation level, or they want the big jobs and they go to cabinet because of the exposure and because of whatever status they think that brings them. But you've done all three. And the interesting thing for me is to know, obviously, that transition from one to the other and the experiences that you had in dealing with those different atmospheres.
Absolutely. Actually, I wouldn't have been good at that last job if I hadn't had the experience before, working on the ground. So many different things come your way in terms of decision making, and I don't make the decisions. I influence the decision.
Yeah.
Whenever I would get something on my desk telling me, okay, this is an issue, this is what we recommend should be done, my first angle would always be, how would people react, like in the streets of Montreal? Would they think that this is the right thing to do? That's how you really, my background really helped me making better decisions at that point. Because when you work in a big department like Finance Canada, they have all the necessary staff to do all the calculations for any file, making sure that these are the prospects on this file. What they may lack is that openness or understanding of what's really happening on the ground.
Well, it's bureaucracy. That's what it is. It's bureaucratic. And that's a big difference, right? When you're working at the writing office, an issue comes up and you have to do everything. Because you're 3, 4, maybe 5 staffers at most?
Yeah. Absolutely.
At a cabinet, you pick up the phone. There's someone that, okay, get me this information or do this for me.
Absolutely.
So it's much more of management or controlling.
It is, and again, when you own the file when you work in a writing office, so you know the person, you're the one that is going to be helping that person. It's not as personal once you get into cabinet, because the decisions are about big issues that will affect people, yes, but not, you couldn't put a name on that specific
It's at
file.
a larger scale.
It is.